Moving ahead to another fireside chat, which is on the topic of scaling smart, how Style Union built a modern retail backbone from day one. And for the same, I would like to invite Mr. Sankat Mochin, Head Supply Chain from Style Union, and Ankita Singh, Director Sales from ClickPost. Can we have you on stage, please?
Hello everyone, we meet again. Quick introduction from my side. I'm Ankita from ClickPost. For those of you who have very recently joined us and were not there in the first session, a little detail about who we are. So ClickPost is a logistics management platform. We help companies for both their online and offline movements. For our offline movement, we help retail brands in their store replenishments, their warehouse to store movements, making sure they have complete visibility across their network. Today, we have a senior industry leader, Mr. Sankat Mochin, who has helped a lot of retail brands shape their supply chains. In this session, we'll basically be discussing how Style Union has enhanced or embraced technology right from day one, and it is scaling very rapidly. It's one of the fastest growing fashion retail brand, and all of this being done very intentionally, without any heavy discounting, without end of season sales. So we would love to know it from you, sir, how exactly it is happening. So welcome to the session. So the first thing that we would want to understand from you, we've seen this space for quite some time. What are those things that have actually changed in fashion, especially like fashion retail?
So thank you, Ankita, and very good morning to everyone. I've been working with the fashion brand for the last 25 years. So I work with Pantaloon, I work with the fashion at Big Bazaar. So in the fashion after the COVID, what we have seen, the life cycle of the whole fashion merchandise is very shrink. Earlier it used to be the spring, summer and autumn, winter. You do the end of season sale 2 times and then you get rid of your inventory. But now because of the digital penetration and the online, a lot has been changed. People wants to fresh fashion more, and the penetration of the digital across the people is so much that the freshness is more the key now. So it's more that your life cycle has been reduced and you have to turn your inventory very fast. So this is the major change happening in the fashion now.
Right. So what would that mean for a supply chain? Like, because this is something that the customers want now. We have spoken about, I think, in our previous session also, that now you would want to have a customer first approach. So this is what the new age customer would want: freshness, regular changes. So what does that mean for a supply chain?
So earlier it was more towards the push. You create and push the merchandise. Now it's more the responsive. You have to your response should be very fast. You see the change in the customer preferences, and accordingly you need to respond. So your whole supply chain, from the design to the creation, and from the creation to distribution, and then the after sale or during the sale. So in season also becomes a very important. So
Right. And sir, if you could just help us understand, like, from day one, what were those technology changes that you brought in at Style Union that has helped Style Union scale so rapidly?
So we have seen, I mean, when we were operating with the larger brand before the COVID, we have seen the chain managed. When you grow like 2,000 crore or 5,000 crore, and then you want to change the SAP, let's say, for example, the ERP, or you want to change anything, it's a very huge change management that will be involved in terms of managing those people. So here we wanted to overcome this challenge because our plan was to grow like 150%. We are growing every year, we are growing more than 150%. And every year we are adding 70-80 physical store. Store is also not very small. It's 9,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet store average. So we had the very clarity from the day one that we should have the technology as an enabler in the foundation, where whenever it's required to scale later on, the scaling should not be the problem. I mean, you can't keep that people into the whole process. So everything should be enabled by the technology. So we bought one of the best PLM solution in India, the centric PLM solution we bought first time in India for your garment design and your sourcing and your whole development process integration to the one platform. We bought one of the best replenishment solution from the Spain, the Nextel solution, which is managing your allocation, your replenishment, your store transfer. So, and we have the vendor portal. That's where the ClickPost also came in terms of managing all kind of the movement, whether it is factory to vendor, vendor to store, vendor to warehouse, warehouse to store. all those movement need to be tracked. So all, or if you see, all your business pieces are put into the platform where all integration can produce the meaningful data, meaningful insight later on, where decision making is also supported by the data.
I think one very important point that you touched upon, that decision making was faster for you. So also would want to understand in terms of, so I just want to also highlight this, that Style Union has been using ClickPost since its very early days. It was not a company which I think adopted technology later on after scaling. You decided to first have technology implemented, and then you decided that, okay, this is how you would want to scale. So you've built it up grounds up. So would also want to understand in terms of, say, automation, how has automation helped you, and which are those areas where you felt that this you want to prioritize first? Maybe accuracy of delivery, visibility of inventory, or store fill rates. What were those metrics that you wanted to prioritize first?
So Ankita, as I mentioned, that we were very clear, because we have seen the operation 10,000 crore worth of business, and we have seen the hiccups that happens during the when we are grown. So here the objective was not in terms of the bringing the best solution inside. So take the example of the ClickPost. So we have the 176 or 180 weight vendors across the India, and we wanted to have the automation for that. The ClickPost help us that every pin is associated with the courier, part truck courier, and whenever the vendor put the invoicing done on everything, inspection or completion is done, automatically that flag goes to the courier and the pickup happens. No need to follow that the pickup is happening or not. And the system helps in terms of bringing those exceptions only. So it's managed by exception, not managing the whole process. Earlier it was that you have to call, see that the pickup is happening or not happening. It is delayed by 24, 48 hours, and then you chase with the courier guy, and then you have a lot of discussion saying that aaya nahi, gaya nahi. So all those are eradicated. You need to only see the red lines, which is not picked, and then you need to follow up with the vendor and then keep doing the correction, and then you reach to the whole automation across everywhere. So if you take the combination of the 176 vendors and coming to the warehouse, then there is 150 stores going there, and then between the stores, all those combination is millions of transactions is generated. So you can't manage without having the system.
Right, 100%. And in terms of people, like with scale, you will also have to expand your team. You'll also have to scale your warehouse, your supply chain teams. Would want to understand the impact on that, because that is also not a roadblocker, but it is also a challenge to keep scaling your team as you grow. So how did you see the impact of having automation, of having technology in terms of scaling your teams? Do you have to scale them in proportion, or you're able to manage it with much fewer people?
So right now we are doing we are 1,500 crore worth of business doing. And just for example, I'm telling you the number of the people that I'm having in the transportation itself. As the totality in 3 people are there. One is the senior for the transportation, and 2 are just managing the forward and the backward. So any automation related to the process is required a lot of refined integration of the APIs between all the systems. So with the ClickPost, we did the bill verification automation also, because our contracts are there in the ClickPost. All my AWB booking is there on the platform. So calculation of the rate, weight, and everything is suggested by the system, and it provides kind of the pro forma invoice. So you don't have to check your LR, you don't have to check your PODs. So because of that, the number of the people at the clerical levels are not required to do all those manual activity. You need to only find the exception which are not booked. You need to find exception which are beyond the TAT, and then you do the follow-up regularly with the courier partner.
Great. And sir, if you could also help us understand, the leaders sitting out here, what are those important metrics that you keep a tab on, like regularly, 2 or 3 operational KPIs that you keep monitoring?
So for us, it's the most important KPI. Take the example of the logistic is the overall time that need to be. So anything which is, every activity has, so anything which is gone, let's say 72 hours. So time is one of the KPI, and another is the unit economics. So per unit cost, because now with the everything in the system, the platform provide ready dashboard saying that what is the cost of the picking, what is the cost of the shipping. So one is the cost of the merchandise moving from here to there, another is the time that it's taking.
So we would also want to understand, like, so just for the audience over here, if there's any technology that exists in logistics or in supply chain, I'm sure Sankat Mochan sir has already evaluated it and is already using it. So we would want to understand from you, sir, what's next for Style Union? What are you planning to have implemented next?
So I'm running the logistics. So whole my warehouse is the automated with the Falcon. So I don't know, because earlier we used to do the lot of processes without the technology. With the technology, what I saw that the whatever the intelligence the people have, it's very much, if you can put or if you can share with the system and make the system more intelligence over a period of time, you can leverage much better than the human being. So for example, we are putting a lot of data into the ClickPost to recommend which are the courier partner will be the best in terms of the service and the cost. So those kind of the recommendation will ultimately create a way for the future to get the whole decision making done with the intelligence and with the better science to get the reduced value.
Awesome. I think we would just want to understand one last thing, that what advice would you give to any upcoming brand which is venturing into retail, or any retail transformation leader? What one advice would you like to give to them?
I think the everyone so this discussion was also there. It's a combination of the people and the technology, and it will always be like that only. My advice is that whatever, the technology seems to be fearful sometimes. When you do the integration, loss of data happens, a lot of mistakes happens, and you believe that maybe it will not work, the people will work better. But eventually, I believe that eventually we should rely on the technology in terms of creating those interfaces between all ERP everywhere. So I think that's my suggestion.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that was a masterclass in terms of operational clarity. I think building right foundations is the key for any successful retail business. And I think you've done it exceptionally well, where technology and execution has gone hand in hand. Thank you so much for your time, sir.